Yeah, I mean, first thing, it's middle of September. We're talking basketball, and it is basketball. Training's coming in, and we're preparing for the season, and we're excited about the schedule. I walked in a situation we actually didn't have any contracted games. It's a little unusual, so every single game, my staff and I had to go out and find, and we're able to play a good number of games in Memorial Gymnasium, which I want to build that to be one of the best atmospheres, not just in the SEC, but in the country. And then I think it's got some great challenges along the way. The tournament in Charleston Classic, open up with Nevada, probably going to be a top 100 team, a really good team, some other great teams down there. I get a chance to go to Dallas and play TCU, go to Virginia Tech, the ACC SEC Challenge. And then also like the fact we have California going here. We want to start a series with them, and we'll be going out there next year and get them to come to Nashville and Memorial Gymnasium.
Yeah, what was the strategy? You got a lot of, I guess Tier 4, I guess what they call them, games. What was the strategy in scheduling the non-conference games?
Yeah, you go to SEC meetings and they kind of give you a strategic plan on what they want you to do in scheduling, and sometimes it's easier said than done. With the schedule, I like what it is. We got down to the end of it. I really liked one more quad one game. And with the balance of the rest of it, if I had one more quad one game, I'd be really happy with their schedule. But the way it is right now, it's they kind of have a plan for you to try to get the highest net ranking possible. And so we go into it with the mentality of the balance of the games, home games, things like that. And then we're trying to prepare for the SEC, but then also look down the road and also make sure that when they try to have a selection bid, that we're one of the formidable teams there, and that the schedule doesn't hold us back.
How hard is it to schedule when you have nothing prearranged like that? What challenges does that present? How did that maybe change what you would have wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, scheduling's different right now, even without that. I mean, right now it's everybody's particular, and certain teams don't want to come play on the road, and that's what we struggle trying to find. Maybe another quad one team, but we want it to be here in Nashville because we had road games at TCU and road games at Virginia Tech, and so a lot of times I sit there with scheduling and I was like, you overanalyze it, you worry about things that aren't really that important, and you got to play the games, you got to win the games, and you do that, things take care of themselves.
With everything being new, how deep have you gotten into role allocation at this point?
With our team, today's actually our first practice back from the summer. We've been doing skill training and workouts and weight training, and we're just getting back going again. So we had a tremendous summer. I loved what we did this summer, both chemistry-wise, basketball-wise, and kind of seeing what we have as a team. And then now, we still got to make some adjustments, but I think we got a clear direction on which way we're going to go.
I know it's not a tall team. That's probably a concern. What else has concerned you so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people overemphasize height. And there's a good chance I might have a 6'3", 6'4" point guard out there. It's going to be taller than every other point guard. Yeah. And if my center's an inch or two short, fine. I bet he can shoot threes. I bet he can do other things. There's ways to compensate game. And in the game I looked last year in the SEC, and there was really only one or two post players that were kind of dominant back to the basket guys. It's a modern game right now, so some guys are bigger than others, but a lot of guys is perimeter base and inside outside.
With the majority of the team being new to Vanderbilt, how do you kind of create chemistry and create a team that can play together when the time comes?
Yeah, I mean, majority of the team is new. Actually, almost everybody's new. And what we actually did a lot of times this summer is we try to do some team activities that were away from basketball, and we're going to continue to do that. The best teams care about each other. The best teams understand sacrifice. And that is a work in progress. You're not going to show up and just get that quickly. But it's something we're going to work on every day. And we have the right type of men in our program. And so that's the first step. And then along the way, you got to build things.
How much of that was part of the thought process in bringing in these players to fill out this roster?
Yeah, I mean, it's trying to put a puzzle together. And, players that fit Vanderbilt, players that fit the SEC, and players that fit our style of basketball. And so it's a lot of things that you don't know, but you kind of got to adjust along the way. And I can speak this because it's true. We got everybody we wanted in the spring, and so everybody's here is who we wanted. We didn't settle. We didn't take backups. Everybody that's here was purposeful in our staff, and I think purposeful in fitting in what we were trying to do here.
What's your vision for how NIL can affect this and impact this program?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to impact every program, especially at the highest level. And so, one thing doesn't work without the other. I mean, if your NIL is not strong, it's going to be hard, having a strong team or retaining a team. So it's a modern day college athletics, which really is professional sports. And so we're there now. We're not going to fight it. We're going to adjust it. We're going to embrace it. And I think our athletes deserve to be rewarded, especially when you're at this level in the SEC and kind of what you bring to university. And so we'll keep adjusting along the way and do what's best for everybody.
You obviously can't comment on specific guys, but you've gone toe-to-toe with some bigger schools and recruiting. Just how confident are you in your pitch to this point?
Yeah, I mean, there's been great players that have been here before, looking down NBA rosters, and we're trying to continue that. So we are a place that is elite, that's one of one. Best academics, best league, best city. So why not go after the best players? That's what we're doing right now.
And you also have some facilities that are nearing the end of construction that you can use to help, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I wish we entered today because the AC is out in my office right now. So I'm excited about when that opens up, and it's not going to be long. And I think we're going to have the best of both worlds. We're going to have historic, loud, gymnasium, memorial, and then we're going to have a state-of-the-art practice facilities will be one of the nicest in the country.
Guys on this roster, I think, played about 8,500 minutes last year. That's an unusually high number.
I didn't know that stat. Yeah.
Yeah, but it might be best in the league. I have to look it up. But that also probably going to create some challenges. Somebody's going to have to play less than they did a year ago. How's that experience an advantage, and where is it a disadvantage, especially in NIL times where that is difficult putting together a roster, period?
Well, we've been in the type of year where we've been kind of in the me season, where guys have been worrying about themselves. And we're about to click into we season. And we brought in players that want to win first. And so I think they understand anybody in the team sport is going to have to sacrifice at some point, not do everything they want to do. But kind of the motto that we had is we try to bring in, proven players that have already been at different levels, that have been really good basketball players with more to prove. And so I think we got a lot of guys that are like that, proven players with more to prove.
Football team knocked off Virginia Tech. Has that helped your program, and are you going to use that to maybe help your program?
Yeah, I mean, we had recruits on campus for Virginia Tech game, and I love it. This point of year, football's undefeated, so is basketball, and hopefully we keep it going. But that opening game was tremendous, and I'm really happy for the football program to, not just beat Virginia Tech, but that was a national win. Everybody across the nation was talking about it, and that's always cool for us, helps us out.
With your entire career, kind of how have you approached rotation size? Is it you play all the guys that you think are worthy, or you want to get to a certain number?
The players dictate that. I don't ever go into a season saying we're going to play 6, 7, 10, 11. They dictate that. Sometimes the game does. And, I think we have one of the more unique systems where we're interchangeable. And so, we could play multiple point guards together. We could play multiple bigs together. Things like that aren't hard for us to do in our system. So, sometimes the game dictates it. Sometimes the players dictate it. And they earn time. They get time.
What have you seen from Jason Edwards?
Yeah, he's as quick as he can get. Jason's a dynamic scorer. He's scores in different ways, and he's very aggressive on offense. And we don't quite know sometimes how we're going to run things on offense, and some things we do is unpredictable and kind of on concept base. And I think Jason's done a good job of kind of having freedom to play. And like everybody else, he's got things to work on, but he had a great summer.
How much of an asset is MJ Collins' versatility?
Yeah, I mean, MJ is kind of a typical player that I love. He can play the point guard, he can play the three, and can guard. And I love the fact that his skill set's gotten better and better throughout the summer. And he's a worker, and I think he does winning things that translates, to a team being successful. So it's not always points, it's not always rebounds, assists, but he makes plays all over the court, and sometimes it is points and rebounds. But I think he impacts winning, and that's why his versatility and him getting on the court, I think, will be big for us.
I think you want to play fast now that you've senior team, got them together. I know you got a long way to go, but how able do you think you'll be to do that?
Yeah, well, our tempo will be one of the tops in the country, and that's the way we work, that's the way we train, that's the way we talk about things, and it's not going to be just wild basketball, but at the same time, we're going to be extremely aggressive, and we're going to push the ball, we're going to attack, we're going to take good shots early, and I think we're built for it. To watching us and what we recruited, and I think we have multiple guys that either have already played that way or multiple guys that might be more successful than where they were previously playing that way. So I hope that's the case.
How has Coach Sanderson impacted your program?
Yeah, Coach Sanderson's been great. What I've seen with our guys in the 8 weeks they trained with them this summer was remarkable. And we had multiple guys that just gained in quickness, strength, vertical. I mean, anything you can imagine. And so I hope that builds into us being a tougher team, stronger team. And we're still going right now, but he's as a veteran guy, he knows how to train players, and I love the fact it gives me ease of mind. I don't have to worry about strength performance. I know that he's doing a great job with that.
I assume a lot of the summer is installing offensive stuff. How much of the time have you been able to allocate towards defensive stuff?
We didn't spend much time on defense this summer, but that's going to be what September and October are going to be about. It was mainly offense this summer, and then we kind of flipped the switch, and we'll be probably 70% defense in our practices going this point forward.
I know you said you were happy with how you guys looked during the summer. What are you asking for all your guys now to come back from this break?
Yeah, it's just to continue to grow. I mean, we try to keep things simple around here. Just be better tomorrow than you were today. And if we can keep doing that, for a couple of weeks, couple of months, everything else, this team's going to keep on growing. And so individually as a team, we're not trying to overcomplicate things and say, let's go win every game. If we do what we're supposed to, we're going to win games. And so right now it's real simple. Just keep getting better.
Defensively, you looking to play all man, some zone. What's your philosophy look like, or does it depend on what team you've got?
Yeah, we'll be mainly man-to-man. And also I will adjust to personnel too, and sometimes adjust to the opponents. So we'll be man-to-man based, but at the same time, the way I've coached, you always got to kind of have a wrinkle or a backup plan or something to go to just in case, and we'll be the same way.
What looks do you think you'll practice in terms of other than man-to-man?
Well, in our man-to-man, there's 4 or 5 different variations. Whether it's our ball screen coverages that we can switch up, whether we're denying passes or pressure, different things like how we are in the gaps or not in the gaps. So our man-to-man could look like man-to-man, but it could be 4 or 5 different variations. And then in the past, we've used zone pressure, we've used switching man-to-man, we've done different things like that. So we'll adjust and we'll kind of keep seeing what our guys are good at. And then, the SEC kind of has a different variation of teams that are successful at different defenses. There's not a lot of zone defenses. And sometimes you look at something like that and you're like, all right, we should be different. But then at other times you look at there's a reason nobody's doing it. So you got to be smart about it.
You sound really confident about this team. What makes you so confident?
I like working with them. It's a good group. And going into the season, it is a hard, long journey. And you want to go into it with the right guys. And so the ups and downs of you're going to face adversity, you're going to face different things. You want guys that love challenges, and this group loves challenges. So we'll see what's in front of us and we'll attack it.
What have you made of Graham Carlton's makeup and just kind of how he's balanced academics with playing with your team?
Yeah, we mentioned size. Grant's a 6'4" point guard and can really guard on defense. Just has a nice, calm demeanor about him. And I think he's really gotten better this summer. Sometimes it's hard for guys in the 5th year to take a big jump. And I think he's taking a big jump from where he was in June, shooting the ball better and just kind of understanding our style. And he's a person who can guard multiple guys, and he sees the game the right way. And so I'm anxious to kind of see him in SEC games and going, but he's a tough kid. He's not going to flinch.
With JQ being here last year, have you kind of leaned on him at all? I mean, obviously in certain ways you have to, but how have you kind of leaned on him for any questions about maybe what it's like here and maybe some of the players?
Yeah, we have talked to JQ. JQ's helped host us some official visits for recruits because he knows the place better. He's also going in year 2 of being somewhere, so he has the confidence of making that traditional jump a player goes from freshman to sophomore year. So he's doing his natural jump, but he's also helping guys along the way kind of get adjusted in Nashville and Vanderbilt.
How adjusted are you? I mean, you know, you've had some time to settle in, making your own jump. What's it like going from where James Madison to here, and the expectations that, you know, come with being in the SEC?
Yeah, I mean, people were asking me in July, am I settled? And I would say no. And I would actually get a little anxious by saying no, but then it was actually normal. I mean, with the work that goes into turning a program around and trying to get this thing going, you put everything else aside. And then I did in August kind of figure out Nashville a little bit, figure out where I'm going to live a little bit. And everything's settled now. Everybody's been welcoming, and now we're kind of getting excited about basketball's coming. You know, the weather's changing, things are feeling different, and basketball's on its way.